بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب زدني علما.
So next thing we'll talk about OSPF. OSPF stands for Open Shortest Path First. Now OSPF is one of the commonly used protocol apart from other protocols. Like in terms of service providers, generally you will see the OSPF or the ISS protocols commonly used. Whereas we have other IGP protocols like RIP and EIGRP, also the other protocols which are commonly used. Now the OSPF is one of the commonly used protocols, which is the main reason here we can say it is like a standard protocol, which means you can run this protocol on any Cisco or non-Cisco devices. So whether you are running a Cisco router or whether you are running any other Juniper router or any other vendor router, probably you can run this protocol and you can enable the dynamic routing between them on any vendor. So in terms of category, it comes under link state protocol. Like OSPF and ISS protocols, these two protocols comes under link state category. When we talk about other protocols, the RIP or EIGRP protocols, they come under distance vector category. Of course, Cisco call this as advanced distance vector protocols. So basically the way they work, now this category defines the way they work. And also the OSPF is a classless routing protocol. Now classless routing protocol means, as you know from the basic CCNA studies like the previous topics, probably you will see like when the router, let's say I'm using 192.168.1.subnet with /28. So when the router is going to advertise the networks, one option is it can either advertise without any mask, like it will simply advertise the network ID without subnet mask information. And that is what we call as classful networks. And the other option is it will advertise the network ID with subnet mask information. So basically that is what classless. Like in today's networks, we'll be using all subnets, all subnetworks. And when you're advertising this with a proper subnet mask information, that will give a proper routing information as well. Okay, so basically the classless networks will carry the subnet mask information, and also they support some VLSM designs which we use in today's production scenarios. Again, the OSPF uses an algorithm called shortest path first algorithm, or it's also called as Dijkstra algorithm. We'll see this algorithm in terms of calculating the best routes, how it is going to do that. We'll see this later on as we progress with the topics. And one more advantage with the OSPF is there is no limit for the hop counts. Like if you're using some RIP protocol in dynamic routing, it has a maximum, it supports up to 15 hops, means including my router, you can have up to 15 hops. Like 16th hop is unreachable, including my router it is 16. And likewise EIGRP by default supports up to 100 hops or 100 routers, and maximum it can go up to 255. But in case of OSPF, there is no limit. You can connect hundreds of routers or even thousands of routers. There is no specific limit for this routing protocol. And again, the metric is nothing but what exactly it will see to calculate the best route. Like if you take an example from this router to reach this particular network, whatever the network it is, let's say 192.168.1.subnet. Now to reach this subnet, there are multiple routes. You can either go via B, or you can go via C, or we can go via D. Now to figure out which is the best route, because the router is going to forward the packet from any one route, so it has to figure out the best route, and that best route is calculated based on some values or the calculations, and typically we call it as a metric. Like the RIP will see the number of hop counts. It will see how many hops to reach that particular router. Like from B to A, this is 1 hop, and if you go from here, this is 2 hops, means 2 routers. So RIP will see the hop count, but whereas OSPF will see something called bandwidth. So it will see which route is having a better bandwidth. It will use that particular route, and there is a calculation for that. We'll talk about this calculation more in the OSPF metric topic later on, but this is a formula what it uses normally. So technically we call the metric. Metric means what exactly it will see to figure out the best route. Like RIP will see the number of hops, and whereas the OSPF will see the bandwidth in that particular path. And also there is something called administrator distance is 115. Like every protocol have a default administrator distance, and the default administrator distance is 110 for OSPF. And again, administrator distance, we have seen like it is a trustworthiness of the information received by the router. And of course, OSPF also supports something called load balancing. Now, load balancing means, let's say if there are 3 routes, and on this route, let's say the cost, we'll again talk about cost, what it is exactly. The cost is actually the metric. Let's say the cost on this route is 10, and the cost on this route is 10, and the cost on this route is 20. So the OSPF will by default decide the best route based on the least cost. And let's say both are least and both are best, then it will start sending the traffic from both the sides. And that is what called as load balancing. If there are 2 routes and both the routes having the same metric or same cost, then it will install both the routes and forward the traffic on both the routes. We call it as a load balancing. We'll try to discuss about more on load balancing later on with a dedicated lab. We'll also verify that.